Good morning, Sarah. How are you this morning?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, Charlene?
Oh, really good. It's Friday morning, and that's when Sarah and I have committed and agreed to checking in with each other and updating each other and our friends on the Constellation Incubator. And it's so good to check in. I'm curious what some of your highlights for this week were.
Yes, this week was very exciting because we got to present our design prototypes for the first time to people who are not part of the Constellation Incubator. So I got to hear the other pitches in my cohort, and our group got to present our design. And it felt so affirming that the ideas that are coming out of our design, which are so much about matching community need with creativity need, that really resonated with the guests that we invited. And I don't know why I continue to be surprised by this because it's such a human thing. But every time, I put my heart out there and I say, like, this is why this matters to me. And someone says, oh my gosh, that matters to me too. It just feels like, pieces fitting together, and it makes me feel so hopeful and inspired. Um, I think that human connection is like the thing that keeps me going all the time. So that was fantastic.
Well, and your group is actually just slightly ahead of the one that I'm in. So you've done those presentations with an industry audience, and I'm just walking into that. But it sounds like you had quite a few people in the audience that you had some positive, energized reactions from. That sounds super cool.
Yeah, and I think that really there were positive reactions to everyone in our cohort. It felt like I was inspired by everyone else's ideas. So also this idea sharing thing is so exciting, and I've noticed revolutionary because the way that we work usually in the entertainment industry is so competitive and so siloed. And taking all of that away, being really excited by other people's ideas for how to succeed, um, and feeling like I don't have to do this alone. Like there's this whole group of people who are trying to figure it out with me. That feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, the highlights for me this week were well, the activity itself, just starting from a place of making a craft, like making a craft, pulling out as much supplies as you could find, and just working through an exercise of imagination, imagining the possibility is definitely something that gets me excited. And I think when you can drop everything and go back to that like childlike excitement about stuff and just possibility, like that's where innovation can spark. And so it was really fun to pull out all the craft supplies, and I'm not very good, but it was really fun to try and then talk through it. My little cohort, I was like super impressed with some of the ideas we came up with, and also like you said, just hearing the other cohorts, I was blown away by, like, not only could I hear some threads, it's like, huh, interesting. I can hear kind of some common threads, but also I was blown away by just how, like, the levels of organization and thought and creativity. And it was really amazing. I always end up on our sessions just feeling totally lit up. And so now
Mhm.
we're preparing to do our presentation and kind of have it coalesce just a little bit and come together a little bit so we can present it to our industry audience. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Um, what else are you looking forward to this week?
I think what is really fun for me is the conversations and the process itself we're walking through. Um, I feel like bits and pieces, like ripples, are actually affecting the work that I'm doing every day. So whether it's in my conversations, I'm also walking through my own process of screenwriting and starting to apply for funding and in conversations about production of a screenplay that I'm passionate about. But I feel like I've got this constellation behind me that's like inspiring me, so I can kind of pull bits and pieces into my own process, which is very unique and probably non-typical as a, as an Indigenous impact media producer. It's like that's sort of what I'm all about. But I really am excited. I'm completing something right now about an opportunity to pitch coming up this fall, and so I'm trying to use some of that inspiration that I'm gaining to pull into this application, and fingers crossed I'll be able to pitch my project.
I believe you will. Like I can feel your good energy around it.
Thank you. What are you most excited about this coming week? Now that presentation is over. So now, yeah, like what are you most excited about next?
So Sunday we'll have more time to work together, I believe. And I think the whole group is coming back together. So I'm really excited to be united with like all 60 filmmakers, and excited for, what we get thrown to work on in that session. I've while I was resistant to it at first, I've really come to embrace the sort of like, you don't know what you're doing, you just have to do it design of this whole process. So I'm looking forward to that surprise. And I really enjoy spending time with my group. They ask such good questions and are such creative thinkers when it comes to all of this. And we seem to have sort of a natural connection around similar ideas. So it's felt really juicy to work with them. So I'm looking forward to just spending more time refining our design, asking the big questions, figuring out what the best next step is.
So great. Well, thank you for doing an update with me today, and I look forward to our next one.
Me too. Take
Take
care.
care.